Welcome back, my people. Thank you so much for stopping by. So, my people, in today's video, Mike Ozekhome don't tell us the reason why Nigeria is not working and will not work if they refuse to do the needful immediately. My people, he said that Nigeria expired since 2014. According to him, he said that Nigeria is a contract. They forcefully join nations together to become one country. My people, he said that the contract is supposed to last for 100 years, which is 2014, that is supposed to expire. Then they're supposed to come together again to ask nations if they still want to stay in this country called Nigeria or they want to go. But no, rather, they continue with the criminality. My people, he said that no amount of amendment of 1999 Constitution will cure what is happening right now. That the only solution, which I'm always saying it here, is for us to adopt the system of federalism, or rather, let's just break up, let's just split this country so that everybody will go to their way. Because right now, even Hausa Fulanis are saying they have been marginalized, and Yorubas, they are complaining the same thing. And come to Igbos, which is very obvious that Igbos have been facing a lot of things, like Igbos don't have sense of belonging in Nigeria. So if these three nations are complaining about being marginalized, so what are we doing together, my people? Is it not better that everybody just go to their own way before this thing become another thing in this country? My people, this video is a little bit lengthy, but I urge you to watch it to the end because this video is very important so that you will learn a lot about Nigeria. I was shocked when I watched this video. My people, let's watch it together and I will be right back.
So when you talk about a constitution or a country, the first thing you think of is what is the system of government? How does he run it? Is it parliamentary? Is it presidential? Is it a republican state? Is it unitary? What form of government? How do the people relate? Once you are discussing all these issues, you are thinking of the constitution of a country. And that is why it is very important. And let me make this point. The process, the procedure by which a constitution comes into being is not only important, but it's actually more important than the contents of the constitution itself. That was why America, between May 4 and September 1787, decided to gather in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to have what they called a more perfect union. They already had confederates having their own constitutions, but they felt that they needed a stronger government at the center, but federative units strong enough to stand on their own, but not too strong to override the central government. That was how they met. Great American people, Alexander Hamilton, John James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, who became the first president of America, emerging from that conference. These were the great federalists. And they decided to set for themselves a new constitution. Agreed on certain articles of faith: republicanism, presidentialism, and federalism. It was from that constitutional conference they decided to have not just a presidential system of government, but also what you call judicial review of administrative actions. They decided to have a tripartite system of government: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. a doctrine which earlier in 1748 was ably propounded by Baron de Montesquieu, a great French philosopher. To have a Bill of Rights. And so that constitution was promulgated finally in June 1787, 10 years after they became independent. Guess what? They did not claim to know it all. The 50 delegates that attended, 39 of the delegates signed. They still subjected it to the 13th Confederate States for their approval through a referendum. A referendum is key to any constitution making. That is why the American Constitution, which is just 192 pages, about 27 amendments, 7,591 words, unlike the Nigerian Constitution, which is as large as a portfolio, still stands the test of time hundreds of years later. So the process by which a constitution comes into effect, therefore, is very, very important. Right now, the Green Chambers has set up a committee to amend the Constitution after the first four amendments. And the Senate has also set up a 43-man committee. My brother and good friend here, Aminu Tambuwa, a man who has conquered not just the legislature, but the executive. We are preventing him from coming to the judiciary. He's there. But with this, their work amounts to what we are looking for. Is it just a case of amendment to the Constitution that is our problem? Can you amend a bad document? Can you amend a fundamentally flawed document? My humble answer is that you cannot. 1 million amendments multiplied by 1 million amendments added to 1 million amendments of the present fundamentally flawed constitution cannot cure it of its original sin, like the original sin committed by Adam and Eve. What is that original sin? It is that it was imposed on you and I militarily by a military junta led by General Abdusalami Abubakar, 28 members of the Provisional Ruling Council. It was never subjected to any referendum of the people. And guess what? The present constitution was attached as a mere schedule. Can you believe that? To decree number 24 of 1999. So the constitution you are using is a mere schedule attached to a decree. So how can you amend it? How do you cleanse it of that leprous pedigree? How? I will tell you. Like Naaman the leper that dipped himself into River Jordan 7 times to become cleansed of his leprosy. Nigerians must own their own constitution through a popular referendum of the people, like was done to the Midwest Constitution on the 10th of August 1963, when it separated from Western region. Without that, we will just be on a journey to no destination. Make no mistake about that. So all these problems you see, insecurity, mutual distrust, religious tolerance, civilians attacking army therefore retaliating with mightier force, burning down a whole village, a whole city. Everybody is saying Buhari was prebendalistic, cronyistic, sectionalistic, that the President Tinubu is also following same, being prebendalistic, chronistic, sectionalistic. All these are mere symptoms of a larger ailment, which is that we are operating a system we have not agreed to operate. When Miss Flora Louisa Shaw on 8th January 1897 was giving Nigeria her name after the area around the Niger area, we were already existing as different nationalities within our domains. The Hausa city-states, the Igbo city-states, the Kanem Bonu Empire, the Oyo Empire, the Ife Empire, the Benin Kingdom. The people had their system of government and governance. So, to cobble together such a people without giving them a say, as Lord Lugard did on the 1st of January 1914, when he brought together the northern and southern protectorates to found Nigeria and the Lagos colony. Together, that agreement was to last for 100 years, which expired on the 1st of January 2014. Can we not sit down to renegotiate our nationhood? We can believe in ourselves. That is the national question. That is why no one believes in Nigeria. Rather, Nigerians believe in their unions. Drive across on a Saturday or Sunday, you will see union, Pra Union, Ijo Union, Esako Union, Birom Association, TV Diaspora Union. The reason is that people believe more in their home states than a country called Nigeria. When you want me to fill a form, and after asking me for my name, and you further ask about my religion, then you ask about where I come from and the language I speak, you are already profiling me. Not as a Nigerian, but as someone who comes from that enclave. And guess what? What you are going to get will be what they see there. So when I hear the Yorubas, some of them are still complaining today that they are being marginalized. I say, The Northerners, Hausa Fulanis are complaining of marginalization right now. The Igbos, their case is well known, have always been at the receiving end, being marginalized. Then I ask, what of myself, a minority, being a minority, from a tiny village called Ivukwe near Agenebode in Esako, East Local Government Area? What do you want me to say? Because Abiola said the bigger the head, the bigger the headache. So my headache is bigger. So we are therefore going to look at some of the issues now, how we can solve this problem, which we have highlighted, so that we can move forward. Now, Professor Nwabueze gave us a very beautiful treatise as to how we can bring about a people's constitution. In his seminal paper, Legal Authority for the Convening and Holding of a National Conference and for the Making of a People's Constitution, the learned professor said that the present National Assembly is already in place. You are happy because I say you are already because your fears have always been that in trying to bring about a people's constitution, we are going to sideline the National Assembly. It is not possible. It is a reality. Because the National Assembly itself came into being. Elections were held in 1999, even before the 1999 Constitution. So the elections were held with the Constitution. So the emergence of the National Assembly, therefore, was based on the will of the people, what we call salus populi supremalis. The will of the people is supreme. So Professor Nwabueze therefore theorized that because the National Assembly is in place, they have the power to convene and conduct a national conference. And that what they should do is that they should look at their powers beyond the power to alter the Constitution in sections 8 and 9 and go to section 315, which makes the present Constitution as an existing law being a document attached as a schedule to Decree number 24. And that the National Assembly should yank off the Constitution from that schedule under using section 1, subsection 1. And then simultaneously replace it with a brand new Constitution, doing away with the schedule, with the military dictatorship aura. He has example of the British Order in Council, which under section 2 had made the 1963 independent constitution a schedule. But under the 1963 Republican Constitution, the British government used the British Order in Council, yanked it off, and replaced it, and we therefore had the 1963 Republican Constitution. One of the best, arguably the best constitutions we have ever had in this country. Better than the 2022 Clifford Constitution, the 1922 Clifford Constitution, 1946 Arthur Constitution, 1951 Macpherson Constitution, 1954 Little Constitution. That 1963 Constitution, to me, if you look at it, which brought about fiscal federalism for each state to grow, each region to grow according to its might. Western region, Eastern region, Northern region is where we have to think of going back to. That was why the late sage Obafemi Awolowo, who controlled the mono product of Western region, cocoa product, could impact heavily on his people, giving them free education at all levels. University of Ife. I'm an alumni of that university. You know there are 2 universities in Nigeria, sirs. University of Ife and others. It's the brainchild of Awolowo. The Cocoa House in Ibadan. Still the tallest building in Ibadan till today. Liberty Stadium. The first television station in Africa, Western Nigeria Broadcasting Corporation, because he had access to his funds. There was no federal government. He was just paying 20% royalty to the federal government at the center. Then 30% was shared by all the regions, and then 50% for their region. The Amadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto, was able to use the hide and skin, cotton products of northern region to build the Northern Nigeria Development Corporation, NNDC, the Amdala Hotel, the Yankari Game Reserve, the Arewa group of companies. They are still there till today. You all see them. Dr. Akanu Ibiam to Michael Okpala, using the monoproduct of palm oil in the east, was able to develop eastern region. The monuments are there: presidential hotels, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Transamadi Estate, the Cattle Ranch Obubro, the stadium, University of Nigeria Nsukka, because he had access to his funds. Court of Midwest region, which was created through the help of people like Dr. Dennis Osadebe, Oba Akenzwa II, Kesinti Momo, Chief Anthony Nahoro, Jereti Mariri Oketiebo, Umimiejo. They used their timber and plywood and rubber to develop all they wanted: the Ugeli glass factory, the Okbela cement factory, the University of Benin. So what has changed? That people who produce a product, you are saying they should be grateful for being given 30% of the product. Everybody goes to Abuja to go and share the national cake every month using commissioners for finance. But no one cares about how that national cake is baked. Is that how we are going to survive as a country? Using 80 to 85% for recurrent expenditure, no capital expenditure? Is that how we are going to grow? So Professor Nwabueze got it. But my only quarrel with Professor Nwabueze, and I had told him when we discussed this matter, that yanking off the Constitution from the schedule using Section 1.1 has not cured it of the illegitimacy we are talking about, nor made it autochthonous without a referendum. You say, young man, I think I see what you are saying. That is one procedure to go forward to have a new constitution. National Assembly, replace the new constitution, yank it off under Section 1.1 of that decree, replace it with the new constitution, and we move on. But my own argument is that it has not made it the people's constitution. Then, we look at another example of national conferences where matters like this were hotly debated, particularly in the Francophone states, where they debated all this to manage conflicts and foster political, social, and economic well-being and welfare. 1990, President Matthew Kereko, Republic of Benin. Congo Brazzaville, 1991 National Conference, Denis Sassou Nguesso. Mali, President Ibrahim Traoré, 1991. Togo, 1990, President Gnassingbé Eyadema. Democratic Republic of Congo, of President Mobutu Sese Seko, 1991 to 1992. Then let us now look at procedure through the National Assembly. My take on this is that the National Assembly has a big role to play in bringing about a people's constitution. What are the ingredients they will use to cook this people's soup? I've talked about the 1963 Republican Constitution. The beautiful provisions are there. They are not dead. Then in 2014, sirs, many of us here, including Baba, Chief Olabode George, we were all at the national conference, including Dr. Idi Kakalu, Chief Emeka Anyaku, Dr. General Ike Nwachukwu, our own Papa Obongata. We all came together. The delegates were thrown up by different methods. Listen, 2014 National Conference qualifies as a constituent assembly of the people. You do not require to waste further funds and energy looking for others. The reason is that the 492 members were thrown up by the people themselves, and you can throw up people through election and selection. For example, the people that came from Ogun State, I do not know how they emerged, but I am sure that the governor certainly knew how their people emerged to represent them at that conference. Local governments were represented, states were represented, elder statesmen and women, market men and women, the civil society, students were even there. The disabled, they were there. Military, police personnel were there. The diplomatic corps were there. Federal government itself was represented. Traditional rulers. It was a potpourri. In fact, for the first 2 weeks, the issue that we were debating was issue of representation. Where we were represented, we fought and fought and fought. All agreed, sirs, you are all here. We all agreed that the representation was good and representative enough of our nation, because ethnic nationalities were represented. Afenifere, the Middle Belt people, Ohaneze, they were there, Arewa. So every segment, professional groups, private and public sectors, we were out there. So my take on this, therefore, is that the National Assembly stake comes in now, sir. Just promulgate a law setting up what I call a National Referendum Commission, NRC, National Referendum Commission. That commission define its powers. Don't put a no-go area like Ibrahim Babangida once did. Let them get to work. The ultimate being to aggregate together the beautiful decisions of the 2014 National Conference, the beautiful provisions of the 1963 Republican Constitution, and the beautiful work you are currently doing in your own amendment based on your memorandum that you have. Let the National Referendum Commission look at all of them and work on them to give Nigeria a constitution. And what to do within 6 months. This law we are talking about, sir, you can do first reading, second reading, third reading. We have seen you do it on some occasions, first reading, second reading, third reading, on an urgent matter. The entire of this process that can take Nigeria forward can be finished and concluded, sir, in 6 months. I can help to drive it. 6 months. We will have a new dawn for this country. And then what happens thereafter? Simple. Then look at the collated document in the form of a constitution using section 5 of the constitution, which is executive powers, after a referendum of the people, ayes or nays. That's what a referendum means. ayes or nays? Do we still agree to continue with our presidential system of government, which is energy sapping and draining? Nay. If nay, what? Is it parliamentary system of government? Yes. And then the National Assembly will get that clear. There'll be no problem about that.
Wow, this is profound. Mike Ozekhome have said it on my people. But the problem now is, are your leaders going to listen to him? Are they going to agree with what he is saying? Because you guys know our so-called leaders, anything they are not profiting from, they will never support that system. Yes, because corruption has already eaten deep in their own system. So my people, as you can see right now, Nigeria died in 2014, and we all know that this presidential system of government is not working for Nigeria. So it's high time for Nigeria to adopt federalism or parliament system of government, just as Mike Ozekhome suggested here. So my people, as I bring this update to you guys, I hope you truly enjoy watching. Please, if today is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more updates. Like this video, share it, and also turn on the post notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll be the first person to be notified. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye bye for now.